I'd like to welcome everybody on the Access Channel on behalf of the board that's viewing in tonight, the Board of Aldermen's meeting. I got a call from Paul earlier saying he wasn't sure he'd be able to make it back from his meeting up north in Burlington. I'd like to let you know he's had a work commitment this evening, but he's going to hope to try to make it in before it ends, but wasn't quite sure. Also, just one announcement that I was got a call today from George Bates. He's a parade chairman for the veterans. And rather than save this to the end, he was wondering if I could say it, just mention this parade is this Sunday, or not this Sunday, but coming up Sunday, May 5th at 2 p.m. sharp. And he's asked once again, all of us, and it's only heard from a couple board members, if we'd like to participate in this year's parade. He'd like to have as many or all of us participate in the parade as possible, so he wanted me to announce it. And he would like to have any of us that would like to march in the parade on May 5th, give him a call in the next few days, because they're trying to wrap it up. John?
Mr. President, just when he couldn't do it first, he called me. And he asked me to ask you people, even if you're not going, to let him know. He'd like the courtesy, and I told him I would tell him. Okay. George Bates, what's his VFW? He lives on, I don't know if you get him at the, he lives on North Street Extension.
Mr. Chairman.
His telephone number, I've got it if you'd like to write it down, just in case you've lost the letter he sent us, is 773-2947. That's his phone number.
And he said if anybody needed a ride, I
yep.
was telling him I'm from my back, he says, if you need a ride, we'll give you a ride. So.
Yep. Yes, Bob.
I'm sorry, but I'd probably be with the Shriners.
No, that's okay. No problem, Bob.
Split up. Is the president marching?
All right. Hey, you want to
This year I would commit to going in the parade.
Okay.
So, moving on to items, minutes of the previous meeting, the minutes of March 18th.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any mayor's or omissions today? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. It's an opportunity to go outside the rail to address the board on matters that are not on the agenda. Who's that? Rosemary down there on the left. Hearing and seeing no one from outside the rail, we'll move on to communications from the mayor. And the first agenda item is the appointments.
Move that we remove from the table.
Second.
Any debate? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Motion to pass the ballot box
Second.
in the order that are presented on page 6. The first one will be the town service officer, Mike Peer.
Coded. That's what they call it. Mark card.
The next appointments for 3 years, Board of Zoning Adjustment, Jay Cross, through laws.
Oh, we have to do them individually, cross.
Okay. First one is Jay Cross.
On the town service officer, there were 10 yes votes, no votes from Mike Peer.
The next zoning adjustment person is Dean Laws.
Cross.
10 yes on Cross. And the last one for zoning adjustment is Stephanie Lorenz for 3 years.
Ten yes on laws.
10 yes on laws also. This one's Stephanie Lorenz. The next vote is for Planning Commission, John Facey, 4 years. Lorenz is 10 yes. The next Planning Commission is Kathleen Valenti. $9-1 for John Facey. The next vote is for Cemetery Commission, Robert Tedesco, for 3 years. 10 yes for Valenti. Next is for Board of Health, Robert Beauchamp for 3 years.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I'll abstain.
So noted.
10 yes on Tedesco.
10 yes on Tedesco. Now for Police Commission, for 3 years, Mary Goodwin.
Nine yes, one abstention.
9 yes, 1 abstention for Bob Beauchamp. The next vote for Police Commissioner is Richard Smith, 3 years. Ten yes for Mary Goodwin. Next vote is for Mary Goodwin as Vice Chair, 1 year. What's that?
6 yes, 4 no.
For Police Commissioner, 6 yes and 4 no. And Dr. Edward Reedman as Chair, 1 year. 10 yes. For vice chair, the next vote is for redevelopment authority, Mike Henry, 3 years.
9 yes, 1 no.
9 yes, 1 no.
For who?
For the chair of the police commission. We're now voting for redevelopment authority Mike Henry for 3 years. And the last vote this evening is redevelopment authority Joe Selinsky, 3 years. Ten yes for Mike Henry.
Yes.
10 yes for Joe for 3 years, Selinsky. That takes care of the appointments. Congratulations to those of you that came this evening that are here, present. Moving on to reports from standing committees, Charter and Ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Charter and Ordinance Committee met March 25th. Members present were Chairman Davis and Alderman Stafford. We did not have a quorum, so at this time I'd like to move to suspend the rules.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Sharon?
The subject was ordinance amendments. The information was included in your packets. Due to municipal law, all Rutland City ordinances must be deemed criminal or civil. The following that have been included in your packets have been deemed civil, and waiver fines have been applied, and I move to approve these amendments.
I'll move for approval.
Bob, you second?
A second, yeah.
Okay. Debate, questions of the motion? Want to take a few minutes to look at them, or are we all?
There's no real changes to the wording or the concept of the ordinances. Basically, all we did was make them a civil ordinance and include the waiver fines that were appropriate to each ordinance. And that was mostly the amendments that were made.
Bill?
Just one question on page 1 in the bigger packet, Title 15, Fire Protection and Prevention, Section 2802. There's a black section there bracketed. That's all new language in there. Could you just explain what the $5 additional penalty means?
That was deleted.
That's all deleted.
Right.
So that's the old ordinance that we replaced.
Added language is underlined.
Thank you. I didn't see the black.
Any questions? Debate? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries.
And also for Title IX, Chapters 3, 5, 11, and 14 require a public hearing by statute. And I move that the city clerk and the building inspector's offices have copies for public review starting April 1st to April 30th, and that a public hearing is scheduled for May 6th at 7:15 p.m.
Second.
Debate or questions?
And I'd just like to reiterate that there has been no, these Title IX, these chapters deal with housing codes, and that there's been no changes to the housing codes. We have done just the same thing as deeming them civil and adding fines. But because of the way that the statute reads, the housing codes do require a public hearing.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
And the last thing is I move to authorize the city clerk to publish a notice in lieu of full wording.
Second.
Any debate? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Is that it on charter and ordinance?
Yes.
Would you like to give the rec report?
Certainly. The rec committee met March 21st. Members present were Alderman Davis as acting chair and Alderman Loris. We also did not have a quorum, so I'd like to move to suspend the rules at this time.
Second. Moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
The subject was the youth center. Leaf Dallin presented a recommendation, which I did include in your packets, to the rec committee for the proposed location of the youth center. All information is enclosed in your packets, I said that. The schools will contract with VAC to provide a youth center to be located at Southwest School. The Recreation Committee recommends the endorsement from the full board and to circulate the resolution for signature. Southeast, what they say. I'm sorry.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Debate for the motion to circulate the resolution for signatures? Well, Frank?
Just a question. Does that mean that the search for a spot closer to downtown is abandoned, or will it continue?
I don't believe it's abandoned. I believe that at this point in time, because of the grant process and the time limit were there, that they were looking at a spot to be up and running at Southeast School. And we also discussed with Mr. Dallin the importance of looking at our own recreation programs, dealing with youth of that age, that we need to improve on those issues. That this is maybe one answer to the puzzle, but not certainly the full piece.
The only other question I have has to do with the city's involvement. I guess I was under the impression from reading the newspaper account that the city's involvement was now somewhat limited.
Right.
Is that true?
It is true. The if you remember, I think in the other packet that we received, there was an issue where it's like $13,000 monetary issue. That has all been removed. Mr. Dallin, as rec superintendent, will sit on their board for input for recreational needs. The VAC and the school will maintain control of this program. Mostly VAC is leadership. They're just asking us for endorsement that we support the project.
Thank you.
Bill?
This doesn't limit us to, if we decide to do a regional approach down the road, we can open
Absolutely
that.
not. Most of this program, and Chris was also present, and Chris Lord, deals with a lot of youth at risk. There'll be a lot of human service agencies involved, and also recreational needs. It's not just a clearinghouse, so to speak. But it doesn't interfere with the city's recreational process to improve our recreational needs for all our youth and our seniors. It's just an added service to help hopefully deal with some youth at risk.
Okay, all in favor of the motion to circulate the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Other standing committee reports? Yes.
Are we on select committees yet, redevelopment authority?
Yep.
I do have a report. As you all received in the mail from Matthew Sternberg from the redevelopment authority, the bids are in on the work for the artist live work feasibility study. You have the information that tells who actually seem to be right on top with all of their bids. And they are Scranton Appraisals, value of the appraisal contract $2,000, NBF Architects PC, value of the contract $3,600. The engineers are that was suggested was Wright Engineering. Matthew is here to answer any questions we have. In looking at this, we would like to get this project moving, and so perhaps it is wise to suspend the rules at this time so we can take this up.
Second.
All in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On the discussion portion, are there any questions about the bids that came in or the financing? I know that this is a planning grant from the state. Matthew is here to answer more specific questions about the program.
I'd just like to ask one question so the people at home know what's going on here. These folks are on this list. Is everybody who bid? Is nobody omitted from the list?
Yes.
So these are what this is what the committee chooses from, or this is what they were looking at. This is what their choices were. Okay. Maybe you should explain it just a little bit so the folks at home knows what we're voting on here.
Matt, could you do that for us? The Artist Live Work project is the feasibility study to try to look at the reuse of vacant upper floors in the historic district to create living and studio space that would be very economical to rehab. Part of the difficulty with the downtown buildings is that it's so expensive to get them renovated to code for residential or traditional office spaces, and many of them are sitting there vacant instead. This study is going to look at the concept of the artist studio housing project in great detail, both in terms of the technical feasibility of the conversions, the financing of the conversions, and the marketability of the final product. The proposals that are in front of you this evening have to do with the technical feasibility study. The appraiser will be doing a current condition appraisal of the buildings with full comparables for use in the financing study. The architect is going to look at each building and make a recommendation for how the building could be laid out in order to accommodate these units and identify what various code compliance issues would be. And then the engineering firm is going to do a more detailed analysis of what would be required technically to achieve the renovation and give us a cost estimate for it. Now, all of this will, at the end of the study, be compiled into a report that would not only summarize how these 4 buildings would be treated, but would be able to be available to other property owners interested in the idea to identify issues that they could expect to encounter in dealing with the historic buildings and recommend possible solutions to them.
And all of this is paid for by the grant money?
Yes, this is paid for by the grant funds and would be accomplished within the next couple of months. We would expect the technical end of the feasibility study to take perhaps 4 to 6 weeks at the outside. By mid to late summer, we should have all the marketing feasibility done as well as be preparing the final report. This should not be a long process once we get it moving. But I think we'll turn up some valuable information that will help in trying to find a marketable means of preserving historic buildings.
Matt, are there any
Yes.
funds left over? I know you got a lump sum of grant monies. Is there any left over after the study here?
We will have to see if there are any funds left over. There aren't budgeted to be, but if we can find economies, we will. Any funds that are left over, we would have to negotiate with the grant program in Montpelier to determine how they can be used.
Okay. Fine.
Thank you. Any other questions? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Well, I was going to say, I think I need to move to approve.
Can I get a copy of that? I have nothing. You can have mine.
I move to authorize the redevelopment authority to pursue those contracts.
Second.
Okay, now we have a motion.
Okay.
Hold on. Sorry about that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And we need a second motion. We do need a motion for the mayor to sign the contracts.
Second.
Motion for the mayor to sign on behalf of the city. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Is that it?
Thank you.
Thanks, Wendy. Okay, moving on. Any other select committee reports of any kind, Sam?
Let's select, I don't know, I'm trying to find what.
Select rep.
Just want to say that we're going to have a intermunicipal meeting. Staff Attorney Brisling got this to me Friday afternoon on the tax stabilization agreement for Kalo Controls, Calo, whatever. And we're going to have it, because this is Holy Week, we'll have it Thursday the 11th at 6:30, right after community development. And I'll be the city clerk to post it. Thank you.
Thanks. Any other representatives?
There will be, Mr. President, there will be a community development meeting on the 11th at 5:30.
Any other committees meeting? That's Bob.
County Solid Waste District.
Meets, when do they meet normally, Bob?
Pardon?
When do they meet normally?
When do they meet? Usually it's the last Wednesday of the month. We met last Wednesday, the 27th, and we accepted the accounting through December 31st, subject to the final audit by the auditors. And a sludge contract was also further discussed, and it was agreed to continue with the solid waste district rather than put it out to bid. For your further information here, sludge disposal cost has dropped by 1/3 since the solid waste district entered into the sludge disposal project of their own. And that alone is saving the city upward over $75,000 a year on sludge disposal. And I think we owe a lot of this credit to the long hours and the hard work of Mike Sampson. And he has worked diligently through this whole program, and a possibility of lowering it yet. On top of it, we've dropped the price of the disposal of garbage and so forth by over $15, $20 a ton. I think it would be nice if the board sent Mike a letter of thank you.
Motion, Bob, that you'd like to
Well,
make, or just note for the record?
Well, you can use it for the records, that's all.
Okay. Anything else, Bob?
That's it.
Big moves.
We have
Yeah.
another, well, I have some more comments on the last page in the book tonight, so.
Mr. President,
In the packet, Bob?
In the back last page in the packet, yeah.
I'd just like to make a comment on the solid waste district. If folks don't know, there is a bill going through the House and it's now moving to the Senate. It's a miscellaneous tax bill, and in that is they're changing the requirements on solid waste, on how they're going to tax that. It's gone from volume to weight. So folks, watch that very closely.
We're watching it very closely, Bill.
Expecting some heavy fees
And
going
Mike
up
has
here.
spent a lot of time in legislature on that bill.
I'm just seeing there's going to be an increase in garbage, and people should be aware of that because there's going to be a new tax added on.
Yeah,
So, just you can take that back to the
I will.
regional solid waste district.
Okay, before we move on to committees, is there anybody else? Any meeting dates or anything?
This is probably as good a time for me just to make a quick comment on committees as a whole. And we went through this process before the meeting started tonight, and I was glad to have the opportunity to get other input, and there were some trades made. And I don't know how it's been for you, John, or other presidents, Nick is not here, to make appointments in the past, but in just the 2 years that I've been part of this, it seems like it is without a doubt, for the time it's going on, one of the hardest things that the board president has to do. And John's smiling. And I'm finding out the more I talk with different people that it's not all of a comfortable process, and we don't necessarily have to do it this way. Historically, the board president has made the appointments, but there's nothing, talking with Rosemary, that says the board president has, or we have to conduct business the way we do. It's other than the charter saying that we have to have committees bring motions to the board. This could be done in a number of different ways. It could be that we meet as a whole, like the school commission and other boards and commissions do, and rather than have any meetings during the week, we meet twice a month. We meet as a body, we spend 3 or 4 hours in this room and get it done, but we know we do it only twice a month, rather than meeting like every night, sometimes during the week, or at least 3 or 4 times. I'm just throwing this out, I'm not asking for a resolution, but it's something to think about. We could throw names in a hat and get committees that way, which would probably be the last thing that would probably make sense. We could end up with some interesting committees. And then the other thought is to do what we did tonight, is rather than have the chair of the board make any appointments, to sit in this room at a meeting in session and debate who would be the best people to sit on any committee, any 5 people, and let ourselves choose who those 5 people are going to be, or 3 people are going to be, and then let those 3 elect their chair or vice chair. Just some interesting thoughts, as it becomes very hard, I think, each year for one person, along with input, and then sometimes you don't get any input, and people will say, I don't care who sits on, which committees I sit on, just put me anywhere. And then a couple or a handful will say, I only sit on 1 or 2, and then pick those. I mean, it's very difficult. I'd like to, in the future, take the politics out of it. Some of you work very hard and are at every meeting, and some are just not there sometimes. Those are comments that I felt I had to, just wanted to make to kick it around tonight. And I'd be willing in just a couple minutes to hear any feedback on what I've said. If not, we move on the agenda, but it's an interesting dilemma that one goes through each year. And I think some of you don't feel comfortable. I know with some of the committees you're on right now, and I'm sensitive to that, but I'm not sure what else to do. Sharon.
I just have a comment. I mean, I remember my first year that I sat on this board, and usually as a new member you got the rotten committees, so to speak, if there are rotten committees. But I think we all run, at least I hope we all run with the understanding that we make a commitment to the city and a commitment to the taxpayers, and if we have to sit on 6 committees, then we sit on 6 committees. If we have to sit on, more, and I think, I remember the first year, I think Patty Donnelly maybe was my board president the first year, and you take what you get and you do the work you have to do and you move on. I'm not sure that I want to sit as the committee of the whole and debate charter and ordinance in this room, because that's a process in itself. But I think picking or choosing 1 or 2 committees is inappropriate to any alderman. When you have a commitment to serve, we're all aware of what amount of committees are here, and we all have lives other than this room. But you make that commitment, you should stick to that commitment. And I don't object to being told where I sit at all.
Anybody else? Barry?
One suggestion, is it possible to notify everyone when any committee, because as we all know, any of us can go to any committee meeting, but it's a lot of times if you're not on the committee, you don't get it, usually word of mouth. I would ask that, again, Rosemary ended up doing the work. Is it possible that whenever there's a committee meeting, we're all notified of the little 19-cent, because there's a number of committees that I'm not on that I'm going to try to get to, as opposed to trying to chase the chairs down and find out. Just as a point of routine, everybody gets a notice for every committee meeting. That's just so any of us can go, so we all know what's going on, because if we don't do it as a committee of a whole, a lot of the gut work gets done in committee. If you're not on the committee, you don't get it's always chasing to find out what's going on. So that's one request, is everybody gets a notice for every committee meeting.
That would have to be up to the committee chairman. My office isn't aware of all the committee meetings. You're talking time and money.
I understand. You're talking communication, and I think it's important, but maybe it's
Along those lines, if that's unworkable, I see no reason why we'd have to go to that extent. The only thing I could say is, a lot of times, Billy, we'll go into executive session. If you have a heads up that you're going to go into an item on executive session, obviously that's an important item. That if you know you're going to go into executive session on something, give us a heads up. You've done that with me once or twice, and I've gone. Chris Alderman's told me about a couple other times afterwards, so it's not like I'm being left out of the loop. But I just prefer to know, if we're going to go executive session on something in the committee, just let everyone know. That way you're not backdoored when something comes out in the main body, right out of executive session. You don't know what's going on. But
Any member of the board said it would be good.
oh, I know that, but if we don't know they're going to happen, then, John, we don't know to show.
Right.
And I haven't had a problem. You guys are real receptive to a couple those ones I sat in on, so it's not like you look at them as an outsider for going, if you're not in that committee. But just give us a heads
Just
up.
so people know at home that we don't go in executive session for every meeting. Basically,
No.
we go in executive session with the agreement across the street or any real estate transaction or personnel issue. That's the only time we've gone in executive session. But yes, mostly all of them know. And I have no problem to save on money and time and postcards and Rosemary's office. Maybe the chairman's, I know Sharon's committee is standard every other Monday she's meeting, which is good. And I'll try to announce at the meeting when the next community development meeting is. Maybe we can do it here in this room and the chairman's announce their meetings. We can all write it down and go from there.
And sometimes there are special meetings, and those are the ones that everybody could be notified of.
Right, we can't help that. We can know, if something like that, we can notify
Because
everybody.
and that stuff is usually important, and we'd
Right.
like to notice. Okay.
I'd like to back up Barry's suggestion, sending out meeting notices. I know they're posted on 2 places. But us folks, we don't get around there every week or every other day to see what's on that bulletin board. I think it'd be advantageous to us if we would know more of what was going on anyways. We might want to attend some of their committee meetings if it was something that we thought was of importance to ourselves.
The other thing that might work too, if we knew, maybe we can use the Herald that has the daily events that announces meetings, is a way, if it's in time, I don't know if that has to be in a week or so in advance.
I don't
but
think that
2 days.
time frame would
2 days in
work.
advance?
I think it's 2 days.
If it's a committee that almost meet our requirements for a 24-hour notice, and usually they're not done more, so maybe we could do that, note it in the paper, then if somebody in the public would like to attend too, that'd have to be a practice that we'd have to get in tune to doing, but it might let the public attend some of these committee hearings too. They're interested in a certain subject. Okay, good discussion. Any other comments before we move on? Thank you for the work and the support, though, that did go into this, and it is a document that's in the works. We'll continue to discuss it, no doubt, for a while, but I appreciate just taking a few minutes to discuss it. Okay, moving on in the agenda to petitions, letters, communication. The first one on page 7 of your packet is from Commissioner's certification. Thanks, Rosemary. For the Rutland Regional Planning Commission.
I move that the city clerk authorize signature. The notice to be mailed to the planning commission.
And,
You need to pick an
We need to
alternate,
pick
Mr.
someone,
Chair.
right?
and Frank is our person, is that correct?
That's right.
Are you correct?
Frank, are you willing to?
Yes, actually, the meetings, many of the meetings have conflicted with our aldermen's meetings in several of the months just because of the way holidays worked out this year. But I'm more than willing to serve, or continue serving.
Mr. President. I think it's also important we have an alternate. Frank can't make that. It's very important we have someone in that room all the time because they make some very heavy decisions.
Unless it falls on an alderman's night, like Frank was saying, we might be still in conflict, unless we can think of somebody that could represent us.
No,
I don't want to do it. If I may, I think this is, it says here it's a legislative body appointment. I know that the way I wound up on it last time was the mayor appointed me and we went through the appointment process just as you did earlier with other folks. I don't know whether that's necessary for an alternate or not, but perhaps we ought to find out.
Maybe we can find out if somebody could represent us as an alternate and report back. But for now, if motion to
have Frank represent us in the planning commission is on the table. It's
So
been-
moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion
Want a follow-up
carries.
motion to refer to the mayor for an
Yes,
alternate?
for an alternate. Good motion.
Second.
Bring it back to us. And if anybody has somebody in mind, please give Jeff a call so he can be thinking.
I would think it would be great to have some of our planning commission on there as an alternate.
Oh, the city's planning commission, you mean?
Yeah, suggested to the mayor.
If I may, just so that there's no misinformation here, the regional commission, as Bill said, has lots of power. However, many, I guess I'd say most of the issues they take up are not city-related. They really relate directly to smaller communities in the region. In fact, on many of those issues, we either have no reason to take part, or if we were to take part, our interest would be somewhat adverse to what might be beneficial for a smaller community. For that reason, I think over the years, the city has not taken a particularly active role, and that continues through today. I don't mean to suggest that I'm taking an active role either. While I think it's important to maintain participation and get the materials, I'm not sure that it's important to necessarily be there on a minute-by-minute, day-to-day basis.
Yes, Bob?
Okay, I think we should make the motion to authorize the city clerk to send the solid waste district a notice saying that we have appointed Alderman Beauchamp to the solid waste district. He will need to take a slip of paper with him when he goes, or he can't go.
Yes, I think we got a motion on the floor for the alternate right now, so.
Okay,
we can
fine.
Bring that up.
Okay.
All in favor of the suggestion to refer the alternate to the mayor's office to come back for an appointment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And Bob, would you like to make that motion?
Yeah.
Yes. But if we're on an alternate. So we're just. The alternate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Motion to authorize the city clerk to send the solid waste district a notice that Alderman Beauchamp will be their representative from now on.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any debate? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Bob. Moving on the agenda to the special event for the First Step Pregnancy Center application. Says all the signatures, I believe.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Morrow Martin's land use permit.
Keep and file.
Second.
Motion been made and second to receive and file. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The Pico permit amendment application.
Move to refer this to the legal department with instructions to follow the process and determine what's best for the city.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any debate? Referred? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to go into Board of Control Commissioners.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have a packet, separate packet that Rosemary has placed on all our desks. We have, in fact, I believe, 77 applications before us. And then following that, there's a report, the tax update, and other than LUMS, Ron is working, I believe, with the handful that have fallen behind. So the motion might be to approve, the motion on the floor, as we've done before, would be to approve all
The liquor license.
liquor licenses except for Lums possibly. That is quite an outstanding bill, and I'm not sure.
I,
Mr. President,
how about the rest of them?
usually if there's any problems with any of them, what they do is they set those aside and then approve all of them.
Okay, so we want to leave out, John, the ones that are...
Well, no, if anybody, I don't know which ones you want to leave out, but anyone, yeah, if there's anything that question.
Okay, besides, well, how many of these do we want to leave out?
I would like to see you take, authorize the city clerk to, fill out the licenses for all of them, except these that are on the delinquent tax list, and 2 others. I think it's Uncle Sam's. Yeah. Let them come in at the next board meeting. See if we can't collect some of this money.
You want to give me a list of the ones you're setting aside for
Pardon?
the record?
That's this
And will you
list.
read them?
You want me to read them? Okay.
And some of those on that list have made arrangements to
Oh,
pay.
yeah.
So read the ones you would like to set aside, please.
Well, have you a list of those that have made some restitution since this
You
list?
have the list right
Right here.
This is the up-to-date list? Oh, okay, okay. 3D Cafe, McLeod's, the Ice House, Sal's, Juliana's, and Lum, and Mr. Tweed. In other words, all of those on this list.
Well, you didn't list the main course that's on the list.
Yeah, or Mr. Biggs is on there too.
Who? Four?
Ice House.
I had
Yeah, Ice
a
House, all right, you got that one.
main course is crossed out.
Only one of them was crossed out, Bob.
Oh, okay.
Still another, and
Main
then
course and 2.
And
Palomo?
Palomo's also.
Palomo, okay.
there's
It's
another
real
one
estate
from
too.
here. Yeah.
I thought it meant across them off entirely, no. Okay. Thanks for your correction.
And then you got the other 2, right?
Yep.
Gary?
Yeah, I had talked to Ron Graves about these, and John had said what he suggested. I don't want to speak for him, but my interpretation of what he suggested was most of the people on here, once they're asked to come in here, will make, some have made payment agreements, but it's a yearly thing that they don't get down to nitty-gritty until their license is put on hold for 2 weeks. So the idea of every one of these being put on hold to come in, Ron hoping to be here in 2 weeks, so that there isn't a payment agreement, there will be a payment agreement. And Ron says Lums in May is coming up for, it'd be 2 years. According to this board policy, it'd be time for a tax sale. They're right, and he says May 1st makes it 2 years for them, and they're coming up. So his suggestion, as John had said, was everybody on this list put on hold to come before us. And the other 2, I think, Bob was talking about following the police chief's recommendation because of the number of violations. That June's Corner Bar, and Uncle Sam should come before the board and discuss how they're going to keep clean, whatever, but to come before and explain to this board, those 2 bars.
Casarino, then...
Yeah, I think you got June's Corner Bar, I don't know if they're on the front here for a license, but there's the Poor Man's Club. It's club, no, it says club on my sheet.
It says pub.
Chambers, John, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, there's Yeah, up above it's Poor Man's Pub, and down here it's Poor Man's Pub, whatever it is. 56 Strimes Avenue, that was doing as far as,
David, if you don't mind me addressing Alderman Castrino, just to clear up Alderman Bochamp, and a couple of other things. One of them is that Junius is not asking for a license renewal. The other thing is the Poor Man's Pub, which it changes, it's been written different ways, but on the original one here, that's owned by Mrs. Chapman, who's the business manager where I work, and I'm not going to abstain because she's under notice to leave the company. But just to let you know that the Poor Man's Pub will be the new owners of that corner, and they're no relation to June's, whatever it is. And June's is not up for renewal. I didn't see him on the list.
Yeah, that's going to end up being a separate motion. I'll
Those
say
are new
right
applications.
Yeah.
So now I'm totally confused. The motion on the floor is to so far remove the ones that have been listed by Bob, and then Barry suggested every one of them on this page. So
I think that's what Bob was saying.
Yeah.
His list was everyone on the page.
Okay.
I support the motion to approve the ones on the list except on this page. However, I just want to ask, it says payment agreement next to the one here, number 1 on top. Does that mean there's a payment agreement, or does that make Ron happy, or?
yes,
Yes.
So
that means he
then,
talked to me.
If he's happy with, we'd be happy, but,
he wants that one too, even though they have a payment agreement, he wants that one held for 2 weeks.
That was my understanding.
Okay.
Who's he?
Ron Graves, because see, this one here is payment agreement.
He's logging that way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but right below it, see, is it the whole thing, or just the 21.6?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, well, we'll hold them all for 2 weeks. Okay, I'm in support of the motion.
Okay. Does that include the 2 from the police
Yeah.
report too
Yeah.
in the motion?
yes.
To hold them for 2 weeks?
I guess one of them's not even.
So Lum's hasn't applied either. Not all these people have applications.
Uncle Sam's has, and they're one of the, we definitely want to get their license by law. We don't have to, because of their violations, they're under notice in effect. The rest of these, we can't hold up a license. As Bob had found out from Albert Elwell, we can't withhold liquor license because of tax code. With Uncle Sam's, we're within our rights, if we wanted to, not to give them a liquor license and be totally above board about it. So they need to come before this board, square away their lax enforcement of the liquor laws.
Bill?
Just trying to make it clear on what the motion is to send this to the Special Liquor Committee for review and report back to this board?
No, we're just holding these until next meeting for approval, the ones that have been listed.
Tax one.
And we should schedule a
Can
time
we-
for them to come in at that meeting too.
Can we legally do that?
Yeah.
For tax purposes? I mean, you know, I understand violation, police violations, but for taxes, I'm not sure.
My understanding is you have some concerns associated with the particular establishments that you had indicated, one being taxes due, and also with June's Corner Bar and Uncle Sam's Pub. And my understanding from the discussion would be that you're looking for additional information before you make a decision
Okay.
on those particular establishments. And hopefully we'll get additional information by the next meeting.
That's good. That's fine by me.
Fine.
That is the motion then. Those are the businesses that we're holding. All the rest, the motion will be to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. And Rosemary just noted we should set a time for those to come in and explain to us at our next meeting.
Previous to next meeting.
We have something at 7, Sharon, you talked about?
No, that's till May 6th.
Okay.
Mr. President, I don't know why we're not sending this to the Liquor Committee and let them deal with it and report back to this full board, like we normally do.
Because of time, do that at the, every year it's done at the liquor control, the whole
Full board.
And they come in, people come in and face their accusers here. We've done that every year,
Okay.
for something like that.
I just
And
thought we
then
sent
Ronnie
this-
Graves is usually here, who's also the tax collector, and he answers questions that probably we can answer in the control committee. And then that night they have to be voted on because the licenses have to be ready for May 1st, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, we're going to have to take a roll call vote. I
Roll call.
assume the motion was to approve All the other applications for renewal that have been received, with the exception of the list that was read off.
Right.
Okay. That's on the list.
Yes. The roll call vote.
Okay, Lawrence,
Yes.
Gillum,
I have to abstain because some of these restaurants are members of an organization I work for, so I'll have to abstain from the whole vote. You're gonna take it all at once.
Caruso,
Yes.
Bochamp,
Yes.
Catharino,
Yes.
Yes.
Stafford,
Yes.
Wilton,
Yes.
Do.
Davis,
Yes.
Seggy,
You voted twice.
Sure. We needed another vote.
Good move, Bob, we needed the votes.
Vote early, vote early.
Now we have,
We have the other ones that we have to take
Oh,
up
yeah. Yep.
separately.
Now you have applications for renewal. Muck and Schnabels has applied for both a 1995 license that will expire on April 30th, and they are going to, if that one's granted, apply for a renewal.
Move to circulate the signatures.
We can do that, or we can do them the same way by a roll call vote if you don't have any problem.
Okay.
There's 3 new licenses. Muck and Schnabels DLC Corporation, Salgo, and Salunatics, 4 new licenses, I'm sorry. You can either circulate them for signature or do them by roll call vote.
We're voting on 4 of them.
5, move for a roll call vote.
Okay.
Roll call vote's been requested. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Rosemary?
And this will
Point of order.
include both years for Muck and Schnabels.
We're voting for Mutton Snubbles, Poor Man's Club, Bullwinkles,
Right.
Center Street Saloon. No. No.
Yeah.
1 through 5.
Oh,
1 through 5.
yeah, I'm sorry, I was looking at TK. And who's the last one? Kate
That's
Tavern?
an outdoor consumption permit, that's different. Okay, Lawrence,
Yes.
Gillum,
Yes.
Caruso,
Yes.
Bochamp,
Yes.
Catharino,
Yes.
Stafford,
Yes.
Wilton,
Yes.
Davis,
yes.
Seggy.
Yes.
Okay, and then there is an outside consumption permit for TKs, which only requires a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries.
Are we done?
At what time do we want to do that? 7 o'clock next?
Move to 7 o'clock, our next regular board meeting.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Okay.
You might ask that, ensure that the tax collector is here.
Okay, yep.
There's no reason.
Henry will be here.
Get you on the phone. Can we call you?
Yes. We'll call her. Ice breaking
Mr. President,
Yes.
I just wanted to remind the new chairman of the special liquor, there was a item that was put in committee dealing with catering licenses. They should deal with that in the next couple of weeks. Come up with some format so the clerk doesn't have to go through hell to get licenses out.
Okay.
I'd like to be included at that meeting for this meeting.
So, yeah.
Okay. Motion to go out of Board Control Commissioners.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Moving on the agenda, the reports and letters from department heads. The first one is DPW Commissioner Spruce Street Extension Contract Amendment.
Move to authorize the mayor to sign
Second.
Buck Harbor and Associates for $14,475.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Proposal for a wastewater pump station.
Move to authorize the mayor to seek proposals.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. City Treasurer, CVPS Street Lighting Contract. On page 22 of the packet.
DPW.
Second.
Any discussion? Motion referred. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Police chief, expenditures of drug forfeiture funds.
I'll move for the approval from the drug forfeiture fund according to the bid process not to exceed $7,000.
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. I know the chief and commissioners are here this evening. Are there any questions of the board, or chief, would you like to address this board on this issue? Is there anything you'd like to tell us that you've been here all evening?
Well, I was here for 3 reasons. I didn't know if you'd have any questions on the liquor report, and also to support the police commission that were up for election, and then for this thing, if there's questions. But there were 2 things that I'd like to mention. One is we're almost at a sole source situation on the computer over there because we deal through the state, and we're all hooked to this Billman Houston with Wise computers, and all of our price quotes come through the state. Who does the installation for us, for the state computers. This is an additional workstation that would go to this location as opposed to here in the station until that mission there is completed, and then we need it here because we're short of workstations here. So those figures would go through the normal process for
Mr. Chairman, point of order, I think we do have to suspend the rules.
Yes.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Thank you, John. All in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Sharon, do you have a question?
On the motion?
Motion?
I move to approve the money from the drug forfeiture fund according to bid process not to exceed $7,000.
Second.
Okay, the motion is on the table again. Any questions from the chief or inside the board? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And Assistant City Attorney, Police and Road lease.
Move to.
Refer to Public Works Committee.
Second. Motion been made to refer. Bob?
Yeah, this is rather important to the solid waste district. It pertains to the lease of the landfill up on Gleason Road. And they have to have this to get a certification, and the certification is dependent upon a grant that is pending. And it'd be very good if we could get a decision on this and a draft drawn up and voted on at the next meeting.
Okay.
Mr. President.
Sharon, then Bill.
Yeah, I guess I would just request that this one might be an opportunity, because Paul is not here, to set a committee meeting, that the board is noticed when this meeting is occurring. So if anyone would like to participate, I know I would like to attend. I have some questions in regards to the lease. So I would appreciate maybe either Paul could give us a call or let us know when the meeting is going to be posted for public hearing.
Okay.
Do you know who the lease is with?
What's the motion on the table?
Refer to
Send
DPW.
Any debate? Any further debate or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are now into unfinished business that members have before this board. Hearing and seeing none. New motions, resolutions, or new business? Bob.
Mr. President, I believe it was last board meeting, Alderman Gillum brought up the problem of liquor licenses,
Catering?
permits, yeah. And I have talked to both the other members of the liquor committee, and I would like to make a motion to authorize the city clerk to process all the liquor licenses where taxes in the city. Oh, wait a minute, that's wrong. The committee will rely on the judgment of the city clerk in issuing
Catering?
catering permits. It wasn't done by, it wasn't in the minutes.
But I haven't had an opportunity to meet with the committee.
The committee's gonna meet, Bob, and Chris
Okay,
goes
all right.
call meeting and let us know. Yes.
I'd like to address Bob, and I thank him very much for doing the motion, but I think it's premature at this time, because we really need to think this out. We got to worry about outdoor consumption. I mean, if there's little things like that, we're using city streets, then obviously it should go to committee, go through the process, but it's a simple little catering job, it should be the clerk, and I want the clerk to sit down with the committee and work out some policy that she can follow. It just makes it easier for everybody. That was the whole idea why we put it in committee.
Sorry, with me, I'm gonna get it over with.
Any other business come before this board this evening? If not, a motion to adjourn. So moved. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The meeting is over.